I want to talk about situational depression, and by that I mean that depression you can track to a situation, such as a terrible job, a failing relationship, a difficult school situation, a problem in your family, a problem with your health. I'm wanting to talk about depression as an emotional state or as a constellation of emotions that has a purpose, that is important. I call situational depression ingenious stagnation, or the ingenious stop sign of the soul. Depression sort of takes your energy away so you can't move forward. And that is very frustrating, right? And it can be scary. I talk about situational depression because I want to make a very clear distinction between situational depression and major depression or bipolar depression or postpartum depression, because those are very important states to be in, but they are not so much emotional states as they are biochemical states, or they could be coming down through your genetics. It could be a neurological situation. This is not the kind of depression I'm talking about. I'm talking about depression that you can track to a situation. So you wake up in the morning, you got nothing. You don't want to go to work. You don't want to talk to anybody. Or you're out in the world at the store and you see someone you know and you immediately look down. You don't want to engage, right? There's a reduction of your energy for going forward, a reduction of your social willingness, right? That depression sort of stops everything. Now we're taught to run from depression into happiness, right? Because happiness is the best emotion. No, happiness is one of 17 emotions. It has its own job. Depression I call the ingenious stop sign because if you stop and do what I call an inventory, right, of your life when you're feeling depressed, you can find out exactly what's going on and exactly what your psyche in its ingenuity and in its intelligence is wanting you to not be able to do, right? Your psyche says, nope, that job is never going to work. No, I'm not going to have you go at it with this, gosh darn it, I can do it. This job isn't going to work, right? The problem with depression, as you know, if you've been depressed, is that sometimes you have to go to this job to make the money to get yourself to a new place. So it's important to be able to work with your depression, with your situational depression. Understand what it's asking, what it's pointing out, why it's pulling your energy away, why it's making it so that you can't move forward, right? And then to work on that thing with the full intelligence of all the rest of your emotions. And then your depression should sort of pull back a little and go, okay, you can move forward as long as you promise that this terrible job is, not going to be the main thing in your life anymore. Let's get something good going here. I always say in the Language of Emotions card and in the book that depression shows up for a very important reason. It's not a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that something very intelligent inside you is saying, nope, no, we're not going to do this anymore. And again, that can be very frustrating because how many of us want to be told we can't do something? Nobody, right? Anybody? Nobody. How many of us want to have our energy taken away when we're trying to get something done? Nobody. But depression is sort of like a really good friend of yours who's a little bit annoying, or maybe a lot annoying, that sort of pulls the rug out from under you and says, friend, no, if you keep going forward doing this thing that is incorrect, if you're moving forward with the wrong intention, for the wrong reasons, with the wrong intensity, with the wrong people, you're going to end up in a place that isn't any good. I'm going to slow you down. So depression is always talking to you about something that is going on that isn't okay. So it may be in your health, your eating, your exercise, your relationships, your family, your job, your home, your neighborhood. Something's going on. And so your job in a depression, and I'll put this in the comments below, is to just do your inventory and see what is my depression responding to, instead of, why am I such a depressed failure? It's not a failure to be depressed. Depression has a purpose. Situational depression has a very important purpose in your whole sort of intelligent world of emotions. Depression has a very important purpose. It needs to stop you when the thing you're doing is not going to end up in any place good. And it's going to it's going to impede your life's purpose. A lot of people look at depression as if it's like a comment on the badness of themselves. And that's not what depression is. It is an intelligent part of you saying no. No. And again, it can be really annoying to be told no, right? But if you can learn to listen to depression and understand that it has an intelligence and that it does mean you well, it means to take care of you, then you can start working with it as an ally instead of as this, awful thing. Depression is very different from the suicidal urge, and situational depression is very different from major depression or bipolar or postpartum or any of the other depressions, right? Understanding that situational depression is always pointing to a situation that needs to stop or needs to be dealt with in some way, so that you can move forward in a way that's actually going to get you someplace that you want to go. Depression is your friend, and it's kind of an annoying friend, but if you can listen to it and do the inventory that I've got on my site that is in the comments, I think you'll find that depression is really a very intelligent emotion. Situational depression is sometimes your best friend, right? And sometimes your real best friend has to tell you, look, that's not going to work. That relationship, no. Sometimes your best friends have to pull you aside. And situational depression can be one of your best friends. Welcome it, listen to it, and know that this too shall pass. If you make the changes your depression is asking you to make, it will lift and you'll be able to move forward until the next time your situational depression goes, oh, excuse me, friend, this is not going to work. Welcome your depression as one of your 17 emotions. Each of them has a job, each of them has a specific kind of intelligence to bring you, and each of them has a very important place in a whole and healthy life. Thank you.